With the Manhattan skyline just a few miles away, we welcome you back to MetLife Stadium. Preseason game number 4, the Giants and Patriots. A couple moments ago, Bruce Beck caught up with Giants head coach Pat Shurmur.
Thanks, Bob. Final dress rehearsal tonight. Pat Shurmur, what does a guy have to do who's on the bubble to earn a roster spot?
He's got to play well, and I think it's the same every game. Come out here, the plays that you get, make the best of them, play good football, and do something to catch your eye.
Is this an open audition for guys not only that perhaps want to make the Giants, but get noticed around the league?
I think every time you go on the field, whether you're Eli Manning or a guy that just got here, you're auditioning to be here. And I think that's the way our guys look at it. They want to go out and have a good performance. They want to do what we can to help us win a game. And then we'll see where see what happens.
How important is special teams?
It's very important. And we're going to keep a handful of guys just because of what they do on 4th down. So we had a really, really good game last week in terms of special teams, and I expect another one tonight.
Coach, have a good game.
All right, thank you.
Bob, from 90 to 53, we'll keep a close eye on the competition tonight. Back to you.
Yeah, it certainly is an anxious time around the National Football League. These guys reported to the offseason program together. They've gone through all the hard work, and they know that 37 players are going to be let go. One guy that the Giants will be keeping their eyes on is a draft pick. For more, we send it down to Howard Cross.
That's right, Bob. The guy they're going to be keeping an eye on is Lorenzo Carter, number 59. This kid's from Georgia, 6'5", 250 pounds. Coach Shurmur referred to him as long. What I refer to him as an edge rusher. But the thing that Carl likes about him is his ability to play in space. When you're playing in a 4-3 defense or a 3-4 defense, the linebackers get isolated a lot, and this kid can handle it.
Looking forward to seeing Lorenzo Carter. And a couple moments ago, the quarterbacks who are not playing tonight, Eli Manning, a 2-time Super Bowl MVP, and Tom Brady, who nearly won yet another Super Bowl last year, 13 Pro Bowls and a 4-time Super Bowl MVP, catching up. And we take a look at the weather here at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. 84 degrees, winds out of the northwest at 8 miles per hour. Air feels a little heavy, Carl Banks, but it also feels a little heavy because there is a lot on the line for these young men. When you think about the fact that for some, this is the last football game they'll ever play in.
Yeah, and you think about it, Bob, these guys have been playing football their whole lives, and they've gotten to this point. And for some of them, they're going to be grateful that they were able to try out for a team. It's a great story to tell. Others will be disappointed and try to hang on and find opportunities elsewhere.
There's practice squads to be formed, 10-member practice squads for all 32 teams in the National Football League. Want to put something on tape that matters. Bill Belichick in his 24th season as a head coach of the National Football League, an incredible record with the New England Patriots, won a couple of Super Bowls with the Giants, and I know he's someone, Carl, that is near and dear to your heart.
He absolutely is. He's a great teacher of the game.
Marshall Kane to kick it off for the Giants. End-over-end kick, and it goes to the back of the end zone for a touchback. As we take a look at the starting lineups, brought to you by Wendy's, the official hamburger restaurant of the New York Giants. Quality is our recipe. Josh Banks, veteran Robert Thomas, Josh Morrow will start up front. Keep your eye on Ray Armstrong and Lorenzo Carter tonight. Armstrong has done a nice job, especially in 3rd down defense, and Dante Dion, B.W. Webb battling for that cornerback spot behind Eli Apple and Janoris Jenkins. Danny Etling starts at quarterback for the Patriots. And Ralph Webb takes the first handoff and gets knocked down after a gain of couple. Lorenzo Carter in on the hit. Danny Etling, a rookie out of LSU, 7th-round draft pick. Started 22 of 23 games for the LSU Tigers. 60% completion rate in college. So it'll be 2nd and 8 for the Patriots on this opening series of the ball game. Webb takes the handoff, gets stood up and turned back by Ray Armstrong. Carl Ray Armstrong in his 6th year out of the University of Miami, and Coach Shurmur said that this is a guy that he really likes.
Here he is here at the inside linebacker. They like him because he's so active. He finds the ball, gets off a block there, makes a tackle. He's quick with his decision making.
Comes off the field on this 3rd down. 3rd and 5 for the Patriots. Webb the tailback. Etling to throw. Some zip on it. The pass knocked away nicely by Grant Haley, the rookie free agent out of Penn State.
Cornerback auditions are here. You want to show up on tape here. They're looking for a third cornerback. He's playing on the outside, but he's competing with the receiver.
Ryan Allen into punt. Hunter Sharp, who had that 55-yard return for a touchdown last week against the Jets, back deep. Wobbly boot. Fair catch called for at the 26-yard line. 44-yard punt. No return. So the Giant offense comes out. Kyle Aletta, the rookie 4th-round draft pick out of Richmond, gets the start tonight. We will not see Eli Manning. We will not see Davis Webb. Coach Shermer explained to us the reasoning behind using Aletta tonight.
Well, he hasn't, let's be honest, he hadn't had a lot of reps. I mean, they've been getting Davis Webb all the reps, practice and offseason, so this is their chance to learn about him.
We'll start out of a one-back set with Wayne Gallman, the tailback. Aletta to throw on first down. Zips it over the middle and completes it to Khalif Raymond. Gain of 20 on the play.
Nice play action, steps into it, puts some zip on it. Sets down in there, climbs the pocket, puts it right on the money. Good timing in the window there.
We'll set the Giants offensive line for you. Chad Wheeler's getting the start at left tackle. 1st and 10 Giants. Gallman, who's had a good camp across midfield into Patriot territory. Here are the starting lineups brought to you by Wendy's, the official hamburger restaurant of the New York Giants. Quality is our recipe. See Nick Becton at left tackle. They actually have Chad Wheeler now at left tackle, and this is going to be a lot of mixing and matching. John Greco and John Jerry the guards. Evan Brown the center. Giants trading Brett Jones to the Minnesota Vikings earlier this week means that John Jalapeno has won the starting job. Sharp in motion on a 2nd and 4. Gallman try to bounce out of a tackle and get slammed down by Vincent Valentine. Gain of 1 on the play. Wayne Gallman, knowing that he was drafted by a previous regime with a different coaching staff, has certainly stepped up his game under Pat Shurmur in this preseason.
Well, I think he has, I know he has the requisite skills to operate within a Shurmur offense because he's a pass catcher. He's an explosive runner. He has a jump cut ability, so he'll fit into this offense.
3rd and 4. Aletta with time. Zips it over the middle, and the pass is incomplete. Intended for Khalif Raymond. Good coverage on the play. Not sure if that was one he could have secured.
Yeah, he threw that one in coverage.
The Giants got the 20-yard pass play on 1st down. Not able to advance it any further. Cyrus Jones back deep. Riley Dixon to punt. Dixon acquired in a trade with the Broncos. It's been outstanding for the Giants. Fair catch called for inside the 15 at the 13 by Jones. 35-yard punt, no return. Connor Barwin checking out some pictures. Scoreless here in the 1st quarter on NBC4 New York. Show us your Giants pride. Tag your game day photos with hashtag Giants Pride on Instagram or Twitter. It could appear on the screen during tonight's broadcast. Kyle Aletta's first pass was a 20-yarder to Khalif Raymond. Coach Shula checking things out. And Carl Banks, Coach Schumer told us today that one of his pet peeves is that when guys who are starters are out of preseason games, you leave the pads on throughout the course of the game. Show respect to your teammates who you have worked very hard with all year long.
Yeah, and that's part of the whole team concept, Bob. You don't want your young guy, I mean your younger guys looking at your vets with a little bit of resentment saying, well, you know, we got the day off and you guys go out and hold it down for us. They want everybody to feel like they're a part of the team.
Kind of that all for one, one for all mentality. And as he said, there are going to be some guys playing in this 4th preseason game more snaps than they ever should.
I tell you, the guy who's getting the right snaps is Lorenzo Carter. We're going to show a little bit of what he does soon, but boy, Giants fans can be really happy with that selection. He's we do call him the prototypical 3-4 linebacker, and we'll get into that, but he's got good hands, good feet, plays with good leverage.
Patriots pick up a 1st down on that last run. Etling to throw, and he's got some time. He's got an open receiver, and he just sails it over the head of KJ May, 2nd-year receiver out of Minnesota, who spent a little time in camp with the Giants back in 2016. Did not play in the NFL. Signed recently. Take a look at Lorenzo Carter, Carl. Elite athlete for his position.
Productive versus run and pass, and you'll see that throughout his time here on the field.
Outstanding special teams player as well at the University of Georgia. May in motion. Webb the tailback. 2nd and 10 for the Patriots. 2nd offensive possession. Went 3 and out on their 1st possession. May on the bubble screen, and good corner support right there by Chris Lewis Harris. 6th-year pro out of Tennessee Chattanooga. No gain on the play. That's another guy that was out of the NFL last year.
Yeah, trying to make his way back onto an NFL roster, showing that he can read the play, get there, make the tackle. Every team loves a cornerback and tackle.
He's appeared in 33 regular season games. Spent 4.5 years with Cincinnati. Part of the season with Baltimore. 3rd and 10 for Etling and the Patriots. Carter gets some pressure, and he gets the sack. Lorenzo Carter working that edge, Carl.
Working the edge, but here's what he does best. He gets the edge, forces the quarterback to step up in the pocket. What does he do? He comes back around, makes the sack. How did he do it? He did it with great hands. He never got Velcroed onto the tackle.
And he worked over Matt Tobin, the veteran, former Philadelphia Eagle. Allen on the punt. Sharp from his own 17. Hit and dropped immediately at the 20-yard line. 59-yard punt, 3-yard return, flag on the play. Now, referee for tonight's ball game is Carl Sheffers. One of the other things that the Giants have been very good at so far in the preseason.
During the kick, holding, number 45 receiving team. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down, timeout.
Orion Stewart, reserve safety. Lorenzo Carter picking up the sack. 9:14 to go in a scoreless 1st. Giants and Patriots on NBC4 New York. Giants preseason football on NBC4 New York is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Visit KiaDealers.com during Kia's America's Best Value Summer Clearance. Here at MetLife Stadium, Bob Papa, Carl Banks. Carl Banks, keys to the game, brought to you by Kia.
Well, you got a last call. That means that this is the last opportunity to make this squad. So guys have got to show up. It's only going to be 5 or 6 positions open. You got experience is the best teacher. You got a young quarterback who didn't get a lot of reps. Now he's getting experience, and they'll learn something about each other, coaches and players. And then the special path. There are going to be guys that have to make this team as specialists.
Wayne Gallman has had a very good preseason with a nice run on 1st down. We welcome in the general manager of the New York Football Giants, Dave Gettleman, who joins us here in the booth. And Dave, first of all, I think Giant fans want to know, how are you feeling right now?
You know, I'm really feeling well. I really feel good. Dr. Guar has just been amazing, and the people at Hackensack Medical are just, and the oncology folks there have been terrific. You know, it really is a team effort. You know, I wouldn't be here without Joanne and the support she's given me, my wife, and Aaron and Melissa and Sam and Rachel and my daughter Anna. So, you know, I feel great. I got one more chemo blast coming up, so I'll be in the hospital all next week. And hopefully the final PET scan the end of October, and away we go.
Huh?
I'm blessed.
So, Coach, I'm saying, Dave,
I've been called worse.
Coach, you got a guy who you felt comfortable hiring. What about him, now that you've seen him in action, validates your decision to hire him as your head coach to lead this team?
Well, you know, it's really funny, Kyle. You know, the bottom line is, this is not a job for a child. Okay, you can't be a child and be the head coach of the New York Football Giants. And it was really important as we were banging around talking to other people. You know, that we get an adult, and I know people have made fun of it, but it's true. You know, Pat understood what he and I had to get done, and he stayed the course. He's been great with the players. He's very pragmatic about things. It's interesting. I tell people that Pat's an offensive guy with a defensive mentality, so he's very pragmatic. He gets it. He doesn't fall apart if a guy gets hurt. He just, okay, this is what we'll do. Let's keep going, because they're not going to cancel the game on us. You know, so he's been everything I'd hoped. He's been great with the players. He's very steady, very mature, and you know, he's obviously a guy that learned from his mistakes in Cleveland, and I'm just thrilled to work with him.
Yeah, I love what he told us today about you know, team, and even the guys that aren't playing, the starters. Everybody wears your shoulder pads. No taking that off. We're all in this together, and there's a lot of guys who have busted their tail all off season to try to make this team that won't show them that respect. You showed Odell Beckham Jr. some respect as an organization this week with the huge contract. How important was it in your mind to get the deal done before the regular season started?
Well, very frankly, one of my goals was to eliminate distractions. One of the things a general manager has to do is eliminate distractions. He has to clear the decks so that coaches can coach and players can play. And that was important to me, very important. And I just, you know, we all sat down and had a plan, and, you know, frankly, I spoke to Odell before we started. You know, and he and I had a great conversation, and you know, we were, you know, we were true to our word, and he was true to his, and
Giants.
And it, you know, we got the deal done, and that's really nothing any fancier than that, Bob. I mean, you know, it's deals get done when they're supposed to get done. This deal was supposed to get done on Monday.
Having put together a roster, obviously he's a key piece of that. But you talked in the draft about taking the best player, not necessarily falling in love with a need. Now you have this roster, it's almost complete. You got 4 or 5 spots open. Is it the best players, or is it, okay, these guys have to fill a need here at this stage?
You know, I've always believed that when you go, and you're talking about the 53.
Yes.
53 cut down. I've always believed you excuse me, you have to keep the 53 best players. You know, I've seen it time and again where people say, oh, I got plenty of linebackers. So they trade away a linebacker, and then the next game they get 2 guys get hurt. You know, it's just, we're going to keep the 53 best, and then we're going to work the waiver wire.
Okay, and doing that, when you work the waiver wire, that might be one of the guys that may improve your 53 best.
Exactly. You know, people have to understand, sometimes you can only improve incrementally, but if you can improve, then you take that opportunity and you do it.
Well, one area has been in the punting game with Riley Dixon. He has been outstanding for you so far in the preseason. Last week's special teams was a key component with the return for a touchdown. Cyrus Jones for the Patriots back deep to receive this punt, and the Giants are all over him, and no return. Dave, you look great. Great having you here in the booth, and we look forward to a great season, and thanks for coming up.
I really appreciate it, Bob. Thanks so much, Kyle.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, God bless, boys.
Right. General Manager Dave Gettleman, he is ready to go with that final 53. We'll check the flag here on the play, and Carl Sheffers
right. You got it.
Checking over things with Coach Shermer.
I know, he used to have a little air conditioner up here, Dave, but they saved it for you now. They routed it all to your nice booth. Can you send some food over too?
Dave's always worrying about the little things.
Yes, indeed.
Illegal formation, receiving team, a player covering up the snapper. That penalty's been declined. First down.
So the Giants
Foul
decline the penalty.
45.
Great having Dave Gettleman. He's looking great. That one last round of chemo coming up, and he's ready to roll this season. Giants preseason football on NBC4 New York is brought to you by Toyota. The national clearance event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. No score here in the first quarter at MetLife Stadium. Each team has had the ball twice. Patriots on their third offensive possession. And some good thoughts there from Dave Gettleman about how he wants to put this roster together for Pat Sherman, James Betcher, the defensive coordinator, and what he expects out of his team. Etling the throw on first down. Giants come up and support the run nicely as Chris Lewis Harris made the tackle on Ralph Webb. We'll check the flag.
Personal foul, number 39 defense for lowering his head to initiate contact. 15 yards will be added to the end of the play. Automatic.
Carl, this is an area of emphasis. Watch the body posture. That is what they're trying to stay away from.
Yeah, both guys lower their heads, and you know, it's, you can't put the crown of the helmet anywhere near, but you know, when you lower your shoulders, your head goes with it. But that was one I could see justified because the crown of the helmet hit the offensive player.
Webb on the handoff as flags come flying from East Rutherford, Secaucus, and Hasbrook Heights. Armstrong and McIntosh. Okwara on the tackle.
Yeah, Robert Thomas just dominated in the middle of the defense there. He had the, I don't know if it was the center or the guard playing in the backfield. He really got good extension.
Personal foul, chop block, number 65 and 64, offense. Holding, number 65, defense.
Take a look
Those
at
fouls
99
offset.
here.
Replay
He takes his
down.
guy and pushes him almost into the back. Keeps pursuing and gets in on the tackle. Tell you what, these young players in this defense, it will give you a reason for optimism that they're going to be good for years to come.
That was Robert Thomas, third-year player out of Arkansas. Appeared in 15 games last year. A.J. Francis got called for the defensive holding. Etling's pass complete, and then the Giants right there on the spot. Mark Herzlich made the tackle on Will Tye, the former New York Giant, holding it to a gain of 4. Let's take a look at the quarterback comparison. Danny Etling at LSU in 2 seasons, 60%, 2,400 yards. And Kyle Aletta, the Giants' 4th-round draft pick, 65%, 3,700 yards, 28 touchdowns in his career, 3-year starter at Richmond. Well, Odell Beckham Jr.'s got a new contract, Carl, but one of the things that we've kind of seen is he's had a lot of fun with a lot of fans during the games, you know, before the games, during warm-ups.
Yeah, he is a fan-friendly player, and then he loves working with young fans, these young kids. You can see him. He takes time every single game to spend time with the young fans.
2nd and 6. Etling avoids the sack. Carter got the pressure, and then he completes it into Giant territory. Herzlich's going to get flagged, I think, for lowering his helmet as Devin Lucene made the catch. This might be a 2nd penalty on the Giants. Now, first let's talk about Lorenzo Carter.
Personal foul, lowering the head to initiate contact.
See that Ray Armstrong got the last hit. Carter forced the pressure, and Carl, there's Herzlich lowering his head.
Yeah, you just can't do it. Anytime they see the crown of the helmet going first, and that is, quite frankly, it's dangerous. You need, even when you lower your head, you keep your neck up and just try to lead so you can see your target. When that head starts pointing towards the turf, you're putting yourself in danger.
Well, Carl, even on the youth football level, I mean, it's see what you hit, and clearly in that situation, Herzlich's not seeing what he's hitting.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, it's simple as that. I get he's trying to make the tackle, but you got to make the tackle with your head up.
Etling back, Herzlich got some pressure. Errant pass incomplete, nearly intercepted by Ray Armstrong. Pass intended for Will Tye, the former Giant. So 2 15-yard penalties against the Giants.
And I think both were justified. I think it's very important now that they're starting to get it right. The intent of the rule has always been clear in terms of leading with the helmet, but it's putting an emphasis in making players focus on safety, which is the way I learned to play the game.
2nd and 10 at the Giants 30. Farrow on the handoff, takes some contact, picks up 5 before he's dropped on the play. Michael Thomas, veteran special teams ace, made the tackle. So it sets up 3rd and 5 for New England here in a scoreless first at MetLife Stadium. Giants and Patriots wrapping up the preseason. Giants open up their regular season here at MetLife Stadium a week from this Sunday against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Farrow on the handoff, flags fly as he spins ahead and gets the first down with extra effort. Couple missed tackles, but we'll check the flag.
Use of hands to the face, number 97 defense. 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Josh Morrow, the 5th-year pro out of Stanford, called for the penalty.
It's Morrow right here. Gets his hands extended and he gets it right up under
number
that.
64 reports as eligible.
Face mask.
64 is an eligible receiver.
Carl, you know, we talked about the fact that the Giants have really done a good job of not committing a lot of penalties, and 3 big ones on this drive.
Well, this is what you get too when you get guys don't get a lot of reps in practice either. And these guys are out there just trying to let it loose and fundamentals be damned.
Etling avoids Carter, and then it gets dropped by Dante Dion. He was trying to hand it off to Ralph Webb, but clearly they were not on the same page.
And Lorenzo Carter was right there on the spot. Look at the read, redirects. He's long, gets in the way. That's, folks, if you want to know a prototypical linebacker in the skill set, the requisite skill set, this is the kid that has it. Athletic, tall, agile, mobile, hand down in the dirt. Standing up, he does just about everything they're asking. He's going to get better. He's got to get stronger at the NFL level, but you can see he's got great explosion.
Robert Thomas got the first hit on that run by Ralph Webb. Approaching 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter, no score. Thomas entered the NFL as an undrafted free agent with the Redskins in 2014. Signed by the Giants in 2016. 3rd and 9 for New England at the Giants 14. With the play clock down to 5, New England and Bill Belichick call a timeout.
30-second timeout.
It's hard to believe it's 1 week from tonight. Next Thursday, football is back. It'll be a party in Philadelphia when the Eagles raise their first ever Super Bowl banner before taking on the Atlanta Falcons. The new NFL season kicks off next Thursday, 7:30 only on NBC. The big question, Carl, will Carson Wentz be ready? He looked good early part of camp. Then they kind of backed him off a little bit.
Yeah.
Foles has had his struggles.
They figure it out in Philadelphia, and I think they've approached this injury with Wentz the right way. And it's going to be a process recovering from a knee injury anyway. As a mobile quarterback, he probably won't know what he can do, and the team won't know what he can do until he's under true full-speed duress.
Carl, how about the coverage there by Chris Lewis-Harris?
Yes, stays in his back pedal, good position. Did not let the receiver back in. That's great body position and knowing where the ball was going to be thrown.
Yeah, he didn't lose his coverage after the receiver face masked him.
Yeah, just held his position.
Stephen Gostkowski, the Patriots' all-time leading scorer in points. 4th-round draft pick in 2006. Will try a 33-yarder. And he knocks it right down the middle. So the Patriots strike first with a 3-0 lead on the Gostkowski field goal. Odell's not playing tonight, but he's playing. Giants preseason football on NBC4 New York is driven by the Hess Toy Truck, celebrating 85 years of Hess with more trucks this year than ever before. Get alerts at HessToyTruck.com. Back at MetLife Stadium, Patriots cap off a 66-yard drive. Stephen Gostkowski, a 33-yard field goal. And the Patriots lead the Giants by a score of 3-0 here in the first quarter. Bob Papa, Carl Banks, Bruce Beck, Howard Cross, MetLife Stadium. Gostkowski on the kickoff. Sharp back deep. And he'll take a knee for the touchback. Kyle Lauletta, the rookie 4th-round pick out of Richmond, getting the start tonight. First pass of the night, a 20-yard completion. But that drive wound up stalling in Patriots territory. Probably had some good stuff going as Odell Beckham Jr.'s cleats getting the night off.
Yeah, when you're that type of receiver,
he's got to be wearing something though right now.
Yeah, the shoe companies do a good job of making sure they get their product on the best as well, and he's one of the top paid, if not the top paid football player with a shoe endorsement.
Terrell Adams, who had a nice catch while we were talking to Dave Gettleman, with a reception there of 11 yards and a first down for the Giants. Yeah, I mean, Odell Beckham Jr. with that $5 million a year deal with Nike, the first of its kind for an NFL player.
Yeah, I mean, they think that much of him, and his talents are speaking the language that they understand. So they want to make sure that a company like Nike wants to be associated with the elite of the elite.
Lauletta is going to air it out for Khalif Raymond. Underthrew it, and the pass intercepted by J.C. Jackson.
J.C. Jackson had great position. Luella's got to lead him more into the sideline, and this is a play that we saw in training camp that he threw very well, but you can see that ball started coming back to the inside, and he's got to keep that to the sideline, so if the receiver doesn't get it, no one does.
Good coverage by J.C. Jackson, a rookie free agent out of Maryland, on Khalif Raymond. So Lauletta throws the interception. And the Patriots will take over 1st and 10 at their own 18-yard line. Etling throw on first down. And that pass nearly intercepted by the Giants, and that's Chris Lewis Harris.
He should have had that one too. Great position, ran the route for the receiver. What you do is just keep running under it like he was the receiver.
Call that interception thrown by Lauletta the first interception thrown by a Giants quarterback in the preseason.
Wow, this is, interesting you say that, because the efficiency rate of Shermer coach quarterbacks has always been high. So obviously it's something about what he's teaching in the decision-making process and how they execute.
You think about 2 years ago, Sam Bradford gets traded right at the end of camp from Philadelphia to Minnesota to take over the starting quarterback job because Teddy Bridgewater had gotten hurt a couple of years ago, and Bradford winds up leading the league in completion percentage.
Yeah, I mean, there's something about the principles of this offense where the decision-making and where he wants the footballs thrown leads to great efficiency.
Etling's 3rd and 8 pass intended for Paul Turner, incomplete.
And he set the high goal for Eli Manning to be in the 70s. And Eli's never been that high of a completion guy.
Well, Eli's one of those quarterbacks that doesn't worry about the quarterback rating and what it might be. He'll throw the ball away and take some chances.
But in this offense, you'll have a lot of opportunity for a lot more success.
Sharp watches it hit the ground and bound out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. 49-yard punt. Well, here's what Eli Manning and the Giants will face in their first 4 weeks of play. The Jacksonville Jaguars come to MetLife Stadium, then here on NBC4 New York. Wouldn't be the start of the season without a trip to Dallas on Sunday Night Football. They stay in Texas. They won't stay in Texas, but they'll be in Texas the following week when they take on Houston, and then home to take on Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints. So not an easy first month.
All playoff caliber teams, 2 of which went deep into the playoffs.
Giants will start 1st and 10 from their own 31. Raymond in motion. Raymond on the end around. Chased out of bounds by J.C. Jackson, but a nice pickup. You know, Jalen Ramsey did an interview with GQ magazine where he basically ripped every quarterback.
Yeah.
When he was asked about Eli Manning, it's not really Eli. I think it's Odell. I won't say Eli is good. I'll say Odell makes him good. So Eli was asked to respond, no comment. Who? What Jalen Ramsey doesn't realize is that Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowl MVPs while Odell Beckham Jr. was in grade school and then in college.
Yeah, and so
So it wasn't on either team.
So was Ramsey, and maybe Ramsey wasn't watching, but, you know, he's a talented kid, true to the characteristics of a FSU cornerback. You know, Deion Sanders started that trend, and he's in the same mold. He's an excellent football player. He likes to talk, and the only way to shut it up is to go out and compete and get an advantage over him. But he's never going to stop talking. He believes in himself.
Well, he also ripped Rob Gronkowski of the Patriots.
He rips
he's
everybody.
Not that great.
You know, they put a mic in your face and you talk.
Well, Eli Manning and the Giants trailing the Patriots 3-0 in this final opportunity to impress. Through 1 here in East Rutherford. Giants preseason football on NBC4 New York is brought to you by Bob's Discount Furniture, proud to be the official furniture store of the Giants. Here at MetLife Stadium, the Patriots with a 3-0 lead as we start the second quarter. John Greco has moved to the center spot for the Giants. Loletta tried a little misdirection, and Travis Rudolph makes the catch and gets the first down. Let's take a look at the first quarter stats brought to you by Bob's Discount Furniture. See some of the numbers in the Giants' favor. 4 penalties, huge, keying that Patriot drive that led to the Gostkowski 33-yard field goal.
Yeah, penalties are something that, especially those helmet-to-helmet deals, they've got to get those corrected. That changes field position.
Loletta to throw on first down and completes it to Scott Simonson from Red Bank, New Jersey, and Middletown High School. As we check in on the sideline with Howard Cross.
You know, guys, when you look at these guys and you're trying to figure out who's going to be around, who's not, I'm looking at the tackles. And Chad Wheeler's a guy who got like 5 starts last year, played in 11 games. He's a guy who can really help himself out this year. He can even compete still, maybe even for a starting spot.
Chad Wheeler signed as an undrafted free agent last year out of USC. He's at left tackle. Chris Scott is at left guard out of Tennessee. John Greco's at center. John Jerry the right guard. And Nick Becton the right tackle. Simmons on the handoff. And he takes it to the 42. Gain of 5 on first down. And Carl, you know, again, each team has to cut 37 players on Saturday. A lot of guys are going to be on the street. And this is a big question mark for this team. You got Solder and you've got Flowers right now as your starters. But who's your swing tackle? Who can you trust?
And it very well could be Wheeler, because he is a guy that they're developing and he looks like he's making progress from one year to the next. He could be that guy in waiting, as Howard said.
2nd and 5 at the New England 42 for Loletta and the Giants. Simmons runs out of a tackle, does a nice job of avoiding that initial hit. Nicholas Grigsby got in there in a heartbeat. There is a flag on the play.
Yeah, it's the Travi one, the 1880 22.
Jalen Simmons, Robert Martin, the newly acquired Jarrell Presley, all these.
There's no foul on the play for a late
hit.
Yeah, they have.
3rd down.
So they pick up the flag, and that'll set up a 3rd and 3 for the Giants.
Yeah, the running back room is crowded right now, and those guys are competitive. You know, you have Stewart, you have Gallman, you have Barkley. Then after that, who's competing? Who's going to get the next spot? And it's going to be a guy who can play special teams in more than one special team.
Would you be concerned that Barkley hasn't played since the first preseason game?
No, not at all. I think, you know, for those who still advocate playing your best players in the preseason, weigh that against the cost of injury. That's a good run and catch there. catch and run.
Amba Etta-Tawu with the catch and run. Here's a guy that really flashed, Carl, early in camp. He's been quiet, but he makes a play there. 41 yards on 3rd down for the Giant touchdown.
Yeah, he's a guy that did flash. Now he's showing that same flash on this play. Never gave up on the play, made a guy miss at the end, scores the touchdown. Been inconsistent after the first, week and a half of camp, but looks like he's trying to make a statement here, get that resume out there.
Was on the practice squad with Jacksonville, Kansas City, and the Giants last year. Played his college ball at Syracuse. And he made a few people miss. Marshall Kane misses the extra point. So the lead is 6-3. Kyle Lauletta finding the right guy on 3rd down. Odell Beckham Jr. saying that's the way you finish. Giants up 6-3 in the second. Giants preseason football on NBC4 New York is brought to you by MetLife, the official insurance company of the Giants. Bob at Carl Banks MetLife Stadium. Amba Etta-Tawu with the 41-yard touchdown catch on a 3rd down, capping a 7-play, 70-yard drive. And Carl, we talked to Coach Shermer about his receiver depth chart.
Yeah.
And obviously Sterling Shepard, Odell Beckham Jr., Cody Latimer. He said really the battle is for the last spot. And tonight, the guy's going to get an opportunity to make a play. And
yeah, but he's got to be a special teams guy too. But, again, I will say the mystery that is Roger Lewis Jr. I am perplexed as to why we have not seen any of him in any meaningful snaps in the preseason, and even here in the last preseason game. And I hope I'm not blowing it if they wanted to hide him somewhere. But boy, we have not seen a lot from him, and he was a contributor last year when everybody went down. So he's got positive film on record, but I just don't understand why he hasn't seen any of the field in meaningful times to really show if he can play.
Khalfani Muhammad on the carry. Time for our player interview, brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin' as we send it down to Bruce Beck.
Well, we've done this for the last 10 years or so. The last preseason game, Eli Manning, talking about the pulse of the team, where you are heading into the season. What do you think?
Yeah, obviously we're very excited right now, and I think it's been a good camp. It's been a good preseason. Kind of everybody's healthy, everybody's going to be in place, and looking forward to finishing up tonight. But then having a great week of practice next week, getting ready for Jacksonville.
What does it mean to have Odell signed?
Well, I think it's good. I think it's good for him. I think he's handled the situation very well. He has not made it a distraction for the team. And obviously there's been some talk, but he's been in practice. He's been doing everything. And I think it's great that, he's got it signed. He can just worry about playing football, have a great week of practice, and go into this week one just healthy and ready to have a great year.
Eli, you have a multitude of weapons this year, including Saquon Barkley, and you've got Odell Beckham Jr., you've got Sterling Shepard. So how are you going to keep everybody happy, and how are you going to distribute the football?
Well, I think you keep everybody happy by winning football games, and that'll help a lot of the problems. And obviously Saquon's going to get his runs, Odell's going to get his catches, and the other guys as well. There's going to be opportunities for everybody to have to get open, and it's going to be, hey, get open on time, and get open when you're the first read, because we got other guys who can get open quickly and going through progression. So excited to have all those options.
You brought Nate Solder over on the left side of your offensive line. How do you look at this group in general, which has been much maligned over the past couple seasons?
Yeah, I think the offensive line's done a great job all training camp, and just having a great push in the run game, and also protecting well, working well together, picking up blitzes, having extra meetings to go over things, make sure we're on the same page. So, looking forward to working with them all year, and I think it's make a big difference.
You excited about the opener?
I'm ready to get going, and be back here in the stadium with the home crowd and all the atmosphere that they bring week one, and get this season kicked off.
What did you talk to Brady about before the game?
Oh, nothing much. Just known time a long time, and you know, kind of cross passes, some with them a little bit. So just talking, just like some, you know, some old quarterbacks are talking.
Two-time Super Bowl MVP Eli Manning beginning his 15th season. Eli, thanks for coming by. Good luck.
All right, Bruce. Thanks a lot, man.
All right, let's go back upstairs.
Well, good stuff from Eli. And obviously anxious and ready to go here in 2018. And Bruce Beck loves those selfies.
Yes, he does.
There's Tom Brady, who was oh so close. Epic performance in the Super Bowl last year as they tried to go back-to-back. He threw for over 500 yards. But it was that fumble late in the game that thwarted one last comeback for the Patriots.
Yeah, and everyone keeps talking about his age, and he just keeps defying their perception of what a 40-year-old quarterback should look like. And it's because that organization has done a good job of evaluating his skill set and constructing an offensive system that works for his skill set and putting the players around him to make sure he can continue to have success.
Carl, with Julian Edelman starting the season on suspension, Tom Brady, who has had a lot of different revolving casts, these will be his top 4 receivers for the first 4 weeks. Chris Hogan, 34 catches, 439 yards. Cordero Patterson, former first-round draft pick of the Vikings, is more of a return specialist. And you got Philip Dorsett, a first-round pick of Indianapolis, who kind of washed out, now trying to make his mark with New England, and Riley McCarron.
Illegal shift, 2 players in motion
now,
prior to the snap.
With guys
Offense,
getting cut and with some
penalty,
guys still on the street,
down.
Who knows? Maybe somebody else is coming in.
Yeah, he'll find the right mix of players. Now, keep in mind, Edelman missed last year with a knee injury, and they went to the Super
But they
Bowl.
had Amendola, who's now in Miami.
Yes, but they were able to lose key players and still keep moving in the right direction. So I never doubt their ability to plan for the unplanned. They do that better than most teams in this league.
2nd and 13. Ling's pass incomplete. His drive kept alive by a Romeo Okwara personal foul penalty. Giants committed a couple of those. Patriots will open up at home against Houston. They're used to playing next Thursday night. It's weird. They're going to play on Sunday at 1 o'clock. Then they're at Jacksonville in a rematch of the AFC Championship game. Sunday Night Football at Detroit. And then Miami comes to Foxborough. 3rd and 13 for the Patriots. Here in the second, Giants up 6-3. Farrow, the tailback. May on a wide receiver screen. Missed tackle by Dion, and he's got the first down to the Giant 40-yard line. Carl, you know, one of the things about Dante Dion is his size. He's only 5'9", 159. You've got to get this receiver to the ground.
Well, when you get there, you got to wrap him up. You're there before the blocker does get to you. You've got to be able to get him down, at least slow him up enough with contact for the guys on the inside to rally to help you.
1st and 10 at the Giant 41 for Etling. Takes the check down to Farrow, stood up by Thomas, and then Davis slams him down short of the first down. It's a gain of 6. Giants fans, your opportunity to be a part of the tradition. Become a Giants season ticket holder and experience the excitement of New York Giants football. To become a season ticket holder, call 201-935-5610 or go to Giants.com for more information. Injured Giant on the field. That's Avery Moss. Check on his status. Giants up by 3 here in the second. Giants fans, show your true colors with Taco Bell's Big Blue Spirit flag. It's a great way to display support of your favorite team. Proceeds benefit the Boys and Girls Club. Make sure to get it at Taco Bell today. Great cause that the Giants have been involved with for years, the Boys and Girls Club, and those Taco Bell flags raising money. Fans waving them proudly here at MetLife Stadium. Avery Moss walked off under his own power. 2nd and 4. Etling. Missed tackle by Davis. And Muhammad's got the first down. Carl, let's go back and see what happened to Avery Moss, the 5th round pick last year out of Youngstown State.
Yeah, they're checking him out because he had a little jammed his knee there into the turf, jammed his foot into the turf, and grabbed the back of his leg. So we don't speculate on what it is, but it's good to see him walking around anyway. And he's running.
1st and 10 for New England. Remember, this drive stayed alive because of a personal foul penalty on the Giants. Muhammad engulfed as he tried to take it to the outside by Andrew Adams. Let's set players on the field right now for the Giants. Jordan Williams, second-year man out of Tennessee, has come in with Moss injured. Okwara at one defensive end spot. Giants have Terrell Chavis at one of the defensive tackles, along with Isaiah Lunsford, Herzlich, Davis, the inside linebackers. Etling going to go up top, and that pass incomplete as Grant Haley was on the coverage.
Good job by Mark Herzlich, making him throw it higher and changing the trajectory of that throw. As Herzlich coming, gets the hands up, makes him throw it up over an arc, a higher arc.
3rd and 12 from the Giants 30. Midway through the second quarter, Giants in front 6-3. Etling back up top. Dante Dion, did he get the pick? Yes!
Showed great ball skills there. Ball in the air, adjusted his body, kept his feet in bounds. Look at him, he's tracking, catches it over the shoulder, secures it.
Body part hits inbounds. That is a good pick for Dante Dion. Try to make his mark tonight.
Giants preseason football on NBC4 New York is brought to you by Ticketmaster. Get Ticketmaster verified tickets with NFL Ticket Exchange.
Look at the Legacy Club here at MetLife Stadium. Dante Dion with a beautiful interception. And the Giants take over 1st and 10 at their own 6-yard line, leading 6-3 here in the second. Letta with some pressure. Gets it off to Simmons, and Grigsby drags him down. Carl, let's go back to the interception by Dante Dion.
Yeah, gets into it, recognizes the route, hits back at the quarterback, tracks the ball all the way. Did a better job than the receiver did on that one.
Bobbled it, but gained control as his body hit inbound. So Dante Dion with a big play there for the Giants. 2nd and 8 for Kyle Lauletta, the rookie out of Richmond who got the start tonight. Davis Webb will not play. Alex Tanney, the 4th quarterback, expected to get some work. Simmons slams ahead for a couple. Gain of 5 on the play. Grigsby in on the tackle for New England. Odell having a little fun, and Carl, after that, let's face it, horrible performance by Davis Webb in that first preseason game here against Cleveland. He certainly has responded to the challenge.
He has, and I think that kind of restored his own confidence and the confidence of this coaching staff that the game's not too big for him.
3rd and 3. Lauletta gets decent protection and then unloads it to Travis Rudolph, who's got a 1st down out to the 35-yard line. And Carl, gain of 22, but let's start with the offensive line and the protection on the play.
Yeah, good protection. Got a little bit, saw the late blitzer. He slid a little to his right and was able to keep his eyes down the field.
Simmons on the carry, slashes ahead for about 3 or 4. Out of town scores brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Dolphins with a 24-0 lead in the second against the Falcons. Jets with a 3-0 lead over the Eagles. Big news for the Jets, trading of Teddy Bridgewater, and Baltimore leading Washington. Simmons out to the 43-yard line, a gain of 5 on the play. That'll set up a 3rd and 2 for the Giants. Giants going a little no huddle, up tempo. on this 3rd and 2. Simmons gets the handoff and plows ahead for the first down. Carl, we saw him in the early part of training camp, first preseason game. He finishes his runs, as does Robert Martin and obviously Jarrell Presley we saw last week. A lot of encouraging things about the different backs on this team.
Well, you're starting to see, again, this is the first time we've seen a stable of running backs in the Giants' backfield in a long time, and you can see just the upgrade in talent.
Carl, Roger Lewis in at receiver. Split to the top of your screen. Robert Martin in a tailback on a 1st and 10. Lilletta, plenty of time going up top. He's got Khalif Raymond and he overthrew him. Oh, he had a couple of steps on the defensive back, but Lilletta too strong on the throw.
Yeah, and this is, again, learning experience. That's a great release there by Raymond. But learning experience for him. He hasn't had a lot of game experience. He throws a nice football in practice. Now he's got to take that, transfer that skill and that confidence into a game situation that's uncontrolled.
Giants have moved Chris Scott to center. Wheeler remains the left tackle. 2nd and 10, a little play fake. Lilletta with time. Going to throw another deep ball. Has another receiver, and that's Raymond, who can't make the catch. Ball floated in the air. Carl, so you look at the negative. The throws haven't been there. The positive is Raymond is making some moves.
Yeah, I mean, he's making some moves is right. That's 2 deep shots they took with him. Ball hangs in the air a little too long. But boy, he's getting open, and that's something that this coaching staff will say, hey, he did his part. He's showing up on film.
Could make the case that J.C. Jackson should have been flagged for pass interference because he grabbed Raymond as the ball was arriving. Didn't hit the ball. Lilletta 8 of 15 for 118. 3rd and 10. Good coverage downfield. The Patriots get the sack from Trent Harris, the rookie free agent out of Miami. And Carl, those are opportunities. He had not 1 but 2 chances to throw long touchdown passes.
Yeah.
And it winds up becoming a sack and a punt.
Well, one was thrown too far ahead, and the other one hung up like a bit of a helium balloon.
Dixon in the punt. Cyrus Jones back deep for New England. Jones did not call for a fair catch, and Roger Lewis makes the tackle. Carl, you got to do, when you're the 4th or 5th receiver, you got to do stuff on special
Yeah,
teams.
here he is as the gunner. Just outruns this guy. He's tracking the football, settles down, makes the tackle. When you're trying to be the 5th receiver, you've got to be able to make those types of plays.
Carl, how many times do we see guys get down the field but then not get themselves in a position to make the tackle, and Lewis did that there.
Yeah, he's the gunner, but he kept leverage and kept everything to his inside and made a great tackle.
So Roger Lewis, again, not part of this regime. He's brought in by another coaching staff, another general manager, having to prove himself to Pat Shurmur and his staff.
And the thing is also, and this is no knock on coaching or anything, but you got a coach, a receiver coach in from Denver. He's got a few guys that he knows from the Denver Broncos that are on the roster. So he's giving those guys a good look. But I tell you, Roger Lewis has put some pretty good stuff on tape. So if he's not on this roster, I'm assuming he's going to be on another.
Nice play by Andrew Adams to make the tackle on that run play. Roger Lewis, an undrafted free agent a couple of years ago.
The best 53, he says.
That takes us to the 2-minute warning. Giants with a 6-3 lead. Can you help on offense? Can you help on special teams? That could be the difference.
Well,
Giants preseason football on NBC4 New York is driven by the Hess Toy Truck, celebrating 85 years of Hess with more trucks this year than ever before. Get alerts at HessToyTruck.com.
Kyle Lauletta checking things out with Davis Webb. A couple opportunities to add to this Giants 6-3 lead. Patriots have a 2nd and 9 at their own 26. Danny Etling, the rookie, 7th round pick out of LSU, has gone the whole way. And the pass completed, but no gain on the play. Chad Lewis Harris makes the tackle on KJ May.
Good job limiting that to 0 yards after catch.
Well, it's Labor Day weekend. College football kicks off with a storied rivalry after 4 years a hiatus. The Fighting Irish of the Wolverines collide for a primetime showdown in South Bend. Number 14, Michigan. Number 12, Notre Dame, Saturday at 7:30 on NBC.
It's always a big deal when Notre Dame plays in primetime.
Probably see John Jalapio, number 75, winning the starting center job, to the point where the Giants actually traded Brett Jones, who was their starter last year after Weston Richburg got hurt, to Minnesota. And Jalapio has sort of delivered. A second-year player out of Florida entered the league as a 6th-round pick of the Patriots in 2014. Has bounced around on practice squads, but he's earned himself a starting job.
Yeah, and there's a certain, I want to say, profile to this offensive line. They're tall guys. Here's another interception in the making.
Etling's throw nearly intercepted by Dante Dion as he had great coverage on Devin Lucene.
But they're big, tall guys on this offensive line, and it seems like that's where he wants to be. Maybe that's good for the pass protection, keeping guys away from the body. And Brett Jones is a smaller guy, undersized, we can say, technically very sound. But he's gone with, the coaching staff has gone with more size, I would say, on the offensive line.
Brian Allen a punt. Booming kick. Leaf Raymond from the Giants 20. Taking the wide side. Raymond, flag on the play as he takes it out across the 45. It was a 54-yard punt, 25-yard return. Raymond had a big 35-yarder last week against the Jets that set up a Giant score.
Raymond's going to keep his resume out there. He's making plays in each game he's played in special teams. He's had some success.
Turn the return, illegal block in the back.
In the offense.
Number 46, return team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Calvin Munson, who started 5 of 14 for the Giants, linebacker last year, fighting for a roster spot, gets flagged, and you see the block right there. Can't hit the guy in the back.
Sure can't. Not even debatable.
So Raymond had that 35-yard punt return last week, had a 20-yard catch earlier tonight, and blew by the corners on each side for what could have been huge touchdown catches. Lauletta not accurate with the throws. Coming up at halftime, we'll take a special look at Giants Hurricane Maria relief effort in Puerto Rico. You don't want to miss that. And I also should point out, Carl, on that 3rd down play, and you can see him sitting there on the bench, number 91, Avery Moss was back on the field. So remember, he had injured his knee, hobbled off. We saw him doing a little running, came back out on the field for that 3rd down play.
Yeah, it's a good job by him and assuring the coaches that he's okay, and he knows that he's fighting for a job. So he didn't want to be there saying, well, I'm injured, I can't make the team. He's going to give it everything he's got. Good for him.
Injured Patriot on the play. That's A.J. Moore, backup defensive back, a rookie out of Ole Miss. An undrafted free agent.
There's 33.
A.J. Moore, and he got picked off by one of the Giants. I think it was Leonard Johnson.
A multitude of things that could have happened there. Ribs, shoulder.
Sims on the handoff.
Took a blindside shot. You know, we were talking in the break about the Patriots wide receiver situation. As we look at this game, we haven't seen a receiver get behind anybody yet in this game. And I know they're not playing their starters, but boy, if guys, they know there's some opportunities at wide receiver. They haven't gotten behind anybody in this Giant defensive backfield.
2nd and 7, the pass for Hunter Sharp too low. And you start sitting there and you're thinking, all right, well, maybe Khalif Raymond might be catching Bill Belichick's eye if he doesn't make the Giant roster, at least for a short-term solution.
Yeah.
They've done some nice things with small, shifty receivers over the years.
And it works for Tom Brady, too, because he can get the ball out of his hands with those guys running those quick routes.
See Devin McCourty and Jason McCourty, who played their high school ball at St. Joe's High School in Montvale. Jason signing as a free agent to join his twin brother. Laletta avoids the first pressure, and then nice awareness, and Jarrell Adams dropped the 3rd and 7 pass. Would have been a first down. Adams has a couple catches in the game, but that's a big 3rd down drop there after the quarterback did a nice job, Carl, of avoiding pressure.
Boy, that's too bad, too. Watch Laletta once he gets out of the pocket, but watch when he shifts his hips to get, look how he gets his body back towards the line of scrimmage to make that throw. That's a heck of a throw there.
Carl, you know the other thing for a young rookie quarterback, he kept his eyes upfield as the pressure started to come. Dixon to punt. Jones ranging all the way back to his 23. Jones can't get to the outside. Nice job by Tay Davis, backup linebacker. 62-yard punt. 9-yard return with 46 seconds to go in the half, and the Giants in front 6-3. Davis, a rookie out of Tennessee Chattanooga, played safety and linebacker in college. So he's one of those tweener type bodies that fits in this 3-4 scheme.
Well, it can. Means he can move around. He's got a skill set. Obviously, if he's playing part safety, should have some cover skills.
Etling on first down, nobody open. Avoids the sack and then slides to safety as Avery Moss was chasing him from behind.
And Davis misses the tackle there.
Gain of 14.
Got to be able to tackle in space too. Open field tackling.
Patriots with 2 timeouts remaining. Etling under pressure avoids another sack and then gets slammed down.
Moss kept his pass rush alive, got off the block and minimized the gain.
I think Isaiah Lunsford missed the sack. Take a look at the previous play.
Yeah, here's your linebacker. Not used to seeing 58 missed tackles.
Well, you wore it proudly.
Yeah, you got to make that tackle. That's a quarterback.
One of the great performances ever in the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 21. Everyone remembers Phil Simms 22 of 25. But Carl, would you have 14 solo tackles in the game?
Yep.
Big goal line stand. Could have easily been the MVP and part of the Giants' Ring of Honor.
And all that matters, we got the win.
Giants' first ever Super Bowl win, 1986 season. Second and 8, middle of the field. Dante Dion with his second pick.
Both of those interceptions were based on good fundamental technique. He runs the route here for the wide receiver again. I guess when you play against the likes of Sterling Shepard, here he is in the slot. Watch him read it. Runs right up under it. Heck of a play.
He ran the route for Devin Lucine.
You got to cover Odell Beckham, who's a great route runner. Sterling Shepard's a great route runner. Every day in practice, some of these routes look very familiar or easy to cover, having to chase those guys around all training camp.
You know, and he's one of these really likable guys. His teammates really like him. He's got an infectious personality, had a little hamstring that kept him out of some of the action in the preseason. But you know, guys are rooting for him. Laletta is rooting for better protection, and he gets swamped.
He needs to get down when that contact hits him. He'll need to keep those plays alive.
Eric Lee got the hit. Paoletta got the start. Saquon Barkley getting the night off. 41-yard touchdown pass. The difference, Giants up 6-3 at the half. Back at MetLife Stadium here on NBC4 New York. The Giants with a 6-3 lead over the New England Patriots at the half. Well, a couple of years ago, 3 to be exact. Giants played the preseason game.
You're number
against
58.
Yes.
Was
But you're
on.
not 58.
I am not 58 on my birthday.
But our staff was able to.
Oh my God, I dropped your cake. How about that?
Bring on this. Fumble. Turnover.
You know, I know it went viral, but I didn't do it on purpose. It was one of those cheap cakes that came sliding right off. So, Carl,
Oh my gosh.
you had your birthday yesterday.
I
So I
did.
wish you a happy birthday. So
Thank you.
we've gone, big time because we've got Kelly Banks.
You can
from
bank
New
on it.
Berlin, New York. Kelly Banks. How about you tilt it? Because
Hold
I
on.
don't want to drop it.
Hold on.
There you go. Happy birthday, Carl. Carl, of course, you unveiled the starter brand.
Yeah.
You brought it back to life. You wore it as a player, and now you sell it. But happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you.
You haven't reached your number yet, though.
I have not,
No, that's
no.
a good thing. That's a good thing. All right, Kelly. Well, we can't wait to
Kelly.
have a little of that. And
Thank you so much.
see, I need cake assistance now.
There we go.
Your thoughts on what we saw in the first half from the Giants?
Well, we saw some guys that really started to show up. Dante Dion did his thing. Luetta showed some poise. He showed that he's going to have to take a little more, a few more reps to become NFL ready, but you could see the mechanics were there. Eyes down the field when he's moving. Obviously, he's got to calibrate his passes, but he knows what he's doing out there.
Lorenzo Carter had a sack. That was a good thing. And Khalif Raymond did some nice things at the receiver position, even though he doesn't have a lot to show for it. He put it on tape that he could beat man-on-man coverage.
Absolutely.
And he is back deep to receive the kickoff to start the third quarter. Giants won the coin toss. They deferred to the second half.
Are we cutting the cake?
Well, we will. Raymond played his college ball at Holy Cross, entered the league as a undrafted free agent with the Denver Broncos in 2016. Steven Gostkowski set to kick things off. And while the regular first-line players are all thinking about the season opener, there are a lot of guys in this final 30 minutes of football that are fighting for their football lives. And Carl, when you think about it, think of the funnel, right? All the kids that are playing youth football that were out on the field at halftime, and you get to high school and you make varsity. You're fortunate enough to go on to play the collegiate level, major school, or maybe a smaller school. And that funnel continues to get smaller. And you think of how many guys that were great college football players never even get invited to the NFL. And now, over the next 30 minutes, there are some young men that are playing their last football game of their lives.
Yeah, but they'll be grateful for the journey, because what you find out at the pro level, and I'm sure as these young men get older, have families, they'll be telling their kids, hey, I was great in high school. I was all town, all city, all state, all America. I made it to the college level. I was a standout. I got invited to the Giants camp. I made it to the last cut. But you know what? There are some guys that you see that are going to the Hall of Fame. This guy, Odell Beckham, wasn't much I can do. He was at another level.
Zach Kieran is in at the left guard spot for the Giants. The right guard is Evan Brown. The Giants have Victor Sulaco in at the right tackle, and Chad Wheeler remains in at the left tackle. You think about like playing youth sports, as Carl Sheffers will give us the call. And part of head injuries in the league being proactive, there's a spotter up in the press box, an independent spotter who can buzz down to the official if they feel that a player sustained some type of head injury or head contact. Marquise Flower is being taken off, and you saw Carl Sheffers point to his ear, meaning that he was being buzzed down and communicated. Now there'll be independent neurologists on the sideline as well, and he'll go into that tent and they'll do a quick check to make sure he is safe.
Well, if they see unusual contact and the guy slow to get up, it's player safety.
2nd and 11. Lauletta. Raymond can't make the catch as he had J.C. Jackson all over his back. And, you know, just talking about that funnel again one more time, Carl, if you think about it, because I know a lot of people say, this game, because these guys are not that good or whatever. If you think about, like, people that are listening that played some sort of sports in their hometown, think about, like, the best athlete you ever went against. Most of these guys that are on the field right now are better than any best athlete you ever played against.
And they excelled against the best they've ever played against in college, because when you get to college, you got the best of that class as well.
Lauletta goes up top for Roger Lewis. Nice play and interception by J.C. Jackson.
He has really got to work. And he throws that ball to perfection in practice. We see it all the time, but you can see with uncontrolled conditions, Lewis has his guy beat. He's got to lead him to the outside. He's got to trust that the field is still the same width as it is in practice.
So let me ask you this, Carl. We saw Khalif Raymond play defensive back on an errant throw. So in that situation, as Lauletta laments his 2nd interception tonight, did Lewis do enough on that play to turn into a defender?
He's too far ahead. The ball was underthrown. Well, we'd have to see it again, but it appeared to me that he couldn't have gotten in there to stop it.
Ralph Webb on the carry, takes on contact by Sean Chandler, but it's a gain of 9.
My guess is if it was a 50-50 ball, they would have been fighting to catch it, but the ball seemed to be underthrown and inside.
Lauletta's 2nd interception thrown tonight. Both kind of underthrown and drifting inside.
Yeah, and don't despair, young man. Welcome to the big leagues. You know, they're not going to cut you after this game. You were drafted. You just got to get up to speed.
Webb gets the first down for New England at the Giants 48. One more look at it here.
So Lewis clears the receiver there. Ball's inside and underthrown. Not sure. Gets him to the ground. Not sure he could have gotten in there to break it up, but you know, this is welcome to the big leagues. I know he's got a good skill set. He'll learn how to make those throws. He's done them in practice 1,000 times here in training camp. So he's just got to trust that the field is the same width. The lights are a little brighter at night. He's got to get it out there and give his receivers a chance.
1st and 10. Webb picks up a couple, and Avery and Moss on the tackle as we send it down to Bruce Beck. This interview brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Bruce?
Here's John Jalapeno. He's the Giants starting center this year. And first of all, what does it mean to you to get this kind of commitment for the ball club?
Oh, man, it means a lot. You know, I worked really hard to get here to this point, and now that I'm playing center, I take this job very seriously, and I'm just excited for the season.
So Brett Jones was traded, but you guys were so close. You were the best of friends. He actually taught you the center position. How do you look at it?
Oh, man, I'm just grateful for him as a friend first, and, you know, I'm obviously grateful for him helping teaching me how to play center from the very basics, the stands, the snaps, to understanding the game. So hats off to Brett, and, yeah, he's a really good friend of mine.
You've played guard. You've played tackle. Now you're playing center. If they ask you to play tight end, can you do that too?
Yeah, whatever the coaches want me to do and they feel comfortable with me doing it and I can prove I can do it, I'll go in there and do it.
What do you have to continue to work on, because you've only played this position since 2016?
I think I can just always improve my game in all areas, to be honest. You know, we can never play a perfect game, so I'm just still chasing that perfect game with technique, snaps, you know, making the right calls, and ultimately being productive.
Patriots are driving. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, thank you.
1st and goal for New England. Webb stood up, no gain. Let's take a look at the pass play to K.J. May as Etling put it right on the money and beat Grant Haley.
Haley's playing outside technique. Middle of the field is wide open for some reason. Andrew Adams, I'm not sure if he came up short on that or not, but middle of the field is hard to defend from the outside in. I mean, it's got to be, if he's playing outside technique, something's got to be in the middle. Either there, he played the wrong technique.
Little pass for Webb, and he's in for the touchdown. Rookie Ralph Webb scores on a 1-yard touchdown pass, and the Patriots regain the lead. And Carl, just going back to that deep ball again, it did look like the way Haley was playing and he was expecting safety help, and I wonder if as Ettling was flushed out of the pocket, the center fielder got a little nosy.
Well, the center fielder is your last line of defense. He's got to count on 10 other guys to make that. You'll see the outside technique here, but then look, the safety vacates the middle of the field. That's a big window to defend there.
Yeah, that was Andrew Adams who got caught peeking, and the Patriots take the lead back on the 45-yard completion, and then Ettling over to rookie free agent Ralph Webb out of Vanderbilt, giving Tom Brady something to cheer about. Patriots back in front.
This copyright announcement was brought to you by the law firm of McCarter & English, LLP, providing legal service to the New York Giants for more than 25 years. From tech startups to Fortune 100 companies, McCarter is the counsel of choice for leaders in the global marketplace. Find them online at mccarter.com.
Great look at the George Washington Bridge and MetLife Stadium on this Thursday night, the final preseason game of 2018. Nate Solder, the former New England Patriot, watching his former squad take a 10-6 lead here in the third. Khalif Raymond to receive the Gostkowski kickoff. And that's a touchback. Carl, let's go back to the big 45-yard pass play.
Yeah, single high safety. He's got to play. Everyone has to push everything into the safety. Quarterback breaks the pocket. Safety can't get nosy. He's got to get back. He's got to be deep as the deepest, because everyone's sending their man into you in single high safety.
And then they leak the back out. Munson late getting over for the score.
And you know, there's an opening at the safety position.
Alex Tanney in a quarterback for the Giants, the fourth quarterback on the roster, completes it to Scott Simonson. Let's go back to that, because Landon Collins, we know, is the Pro Bowl safety, but there has been a rotation at that free safety spot. It looks like Curtis Riley right now has the job. Darian Thompson, who started all 16 games, has missed a lot of action with the hamstring injury.
He's missed more than he's actually been available to the team. But Andrew Adams is a guy, he's got to trust his techniques. When he knows he's the single deep guy, he can't let people get behind him to the inside.
Martin's got a first down and a nice run and a good hole up front. New left tackle in for the Giants is Malcolm Bunch. Gain of 9 for Robert Martin, the rookie free agent out of Rutgers. Loletta's night is done. A couple interceptions. Tanney played his college ball at Monmouth in Illinois. Entered the league as a free agent in 2012 with Kansas City as Martin takes the carry there. Tanney has been with Kansas City, Dallas, Cleveland, Tampa, Tennessee, Buffalo, Indy, back to Tennessee. He was on injured reserve with the Titans all of last year. He's 30 years of age. Jalen Simmons checks back in. Tanney down the right side and in and out of the hands of Amba Edatau, who has the Giants' only touchdown of the night.
And it was a quick flash by Edatau. Needs to be consistent. He could be a candidate. I don't know if he can go back on practice squad, can he?
I mean, he was on the practice squad last year, but he's only he entered the league last year, so he is practice squad eligible.
Maybe they continue to develop him if he stays off of other teams' radars. You know, for those who may be wondering why Davis Webb didn't play, it's not because of a lack of confidence that the coaches have. They've given him a ton of reps. Not that they're resting him, but they needed to see, in a game like this, they needed to see Luetta. This is his first opportunity to get extended play time, and they wanted to make sure they had enough to start the evaluation process in game action. They have practice stuff on him. Now it's game action, and they needed that.
Riley Dixon in the punt.
As of next week, he won't be getting many reps again.
Reverse spin boot. Cyrus Jones signals a fair catch at about the 20-yard line. 37-yard punt, no return. Here in the third quarter, final chance to make your mark. The Patriots lead the Giants 10-6 on NBC4 New York. Giants preseason football on NBC4 New York is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Visit KiaDealers.com during Kia's America's Best Value Summer Clearance. Time for our Rookie Spotlight presented by Kia. And Kyle Laletta on a third down, identifying the open receiver. And Amba Adetau does the rest. 41-yard touchdown for the Giants' only touchdown of the night. Patriots with a 10-6 lead here in the third. Etling gives it off to Farrow. He's got a first down across the 30 to the 31-yard line. It's a gain of 12. Carl, take a look at the NFC East and the Eagles, a 13-3 record. Cowboys finished at 9-7. Redskins 7-9. Giants 3-13. And you think back to that early season game in Philadelphia where the Giants got beat on a 64-yard field
goal. And that's where it all started.
A game that they had in hand.
It all started right there, and you know they've been pretty tough to deal with for the Eagles, but the Eagles found a way.
We'll take a look at some of the storylines for the Philadelphia Eagles, who will play a week from tonight. Is Carson Wentz ready to go? Nick Foles had a shoulder injury. He's been spotty. And then the Super Bowl hangover. Start writing books.
Yeah.
Foles has one. Doug Peterson has one.
Happens to the best of them.
Philadelphia is obviously still a very talented team. A very good offensive line. Etling for Will Tye, and Will Tye wrapped up by Munson. Tye, his third year out of Stony Brook. Spent some time with the Jets. Carl, you kind of dealt as a team a little bit with that Super Bowl hangover after winning the Super Bowl in 1986. 1987, you had the strike and everything else, but that team never seemed the way it was in 84, 85, and 86.
Yeah, it's like a fog. You know, you're so celebrated and you're doing everything that you think you should be doing and that you felt that you did to get there the year before. But it seems like your opponents ramped it up. Every game was your Super Bowl, and, you know, the distractions, the pull on you for your attention, for appearances, for all of these different things. And I can imagine it's pretty tough.
Yeah, I mean, that was the Giants' first championship in 30 years. They hadn't won since '56 in Yankee Stadium.
And think about it. That's the Philadelphia Eagles situation right now. That city is loving on them something crazy right now. But, you know, I think they're a well-coached team. Things are a little different these days. So maybe I'm not openly rooting for them, but we'll see how well adjusted they are after winning a Super Bowl.
Raymond with a nice punt return of 13 yards. Giants down by 4 here in the third.
Giants preseason football on NBC4 New York is brought to you by MetLife, the official insurance company of the Giants.
MetLife Stadium here in the third. Patriots with a 10-6 lead over the Giants. Final preseason tune-up for these two franchises and getting ready for the start of the regular season. No work for Eli Manning or Davis Webb tonight. Alex Tanney in for second series at quarterback. Terrell Presley stood up by Grigsby at the 41, gain of 8 on first down.
Presley's trying to make his mark with the opportunity he's getting. He's got a quarter and a half. Try to get it done.
Presley, the lone setback, takes the handoff on a second and short, and he's got the first down for the Giants. Well, Giancarlo Stanton hit his 300th home run. Yanks and Tigers tied at 5th, not a few miles away in the Bronx. And Odell Beckham Jr. spent a little time this spring at Yankee Stadium taking BP. We know he was an all-state soccer player.
Yeah.
We know he's great at football, and it looked like he can handle the baseball bat pretty good too, Carl.
Yeah, good hand and eye coordination. And you know what's so beautiful about that is that he did it in New York, and that's the one thing I would advise Odell Beckham, you know, with all of his fame and stardom, is to allow New York to embrace him. You know, he's a worldly guy, but I like to see him at Knicks games, at Yankee games, and just allow the fans to just love on him, man. I mean, he's so international. Sometimes you think he's not approachable, but you see him with kids all the time, and I would just love to see him courtside at a Knicks game, sitting behind home plate at a Yankee game.
He's a rock star.
Well, you know, rock stars come to New York too to be loved. So I want him to receive all the love that New York has to offer as well.
Second and 4 for Tanny.
Just my 2 cents.
Nobody open. Well, here's what John Mara, the Giants president and CEO, had to say about Odell Beckham Jr. He came in the right attitude. He's done everything we've asked him to do. We feel good about having him on our team for the next 5 years. Obviously, it's 5 years tacked on to the last year of his rookie deal. And they were able to get it done. And John also added what Odell Beckham showed the Giants in those dual practices against the Lions. Showed them everything they needed to see about his health.
Yes.
From a football standpoint, coming off that ankle surgery.
And it's about trust. It's about maturity. And I think, you know, when you write a check as big as they wrote him, there's a level of trust that they have in him. They know that he's going to work hard, but the maturity aspect of it, I think they wanted to be assured that that's behind him and that he wants to grow up. And admittedly, he says, hey, I'm maturing now. I'm getting used to this thing. But I don't, you know, and you don't want him to lose that fun edge because football is fun to him.
Vice President of Communications, Pat Hanlon.
Feeding them bubble gums?
Handing out the gum. And Connor Barwin. So now we know what Pat does during the game.
Pat says, you get one, none for you.
He might be the only senior VP of communications in the league that's actually handing out gum on the sidelines.
Okay. The more you can do, the more they ask of you.
Well, he's been known for his strong opinions on social media. He's backed off that, but he's strong with the big red and bubble gum.
Yeah, the less you look like you're doing, the more they'll give you to do. There he is with the bubblegum pouch.
Giants preseason football on NBC4 New York is driven by the Hess Toy Truck, celebrating 85 years of Hess with more trucks this year than ever before. Get alerts at HessToyTruck.com.
Patriots back on offense, and Danny Etling has gone the entire way at quarterback for New England. And Farrow is the tailback. On a 1st and 10. Chased by Davis, and Davis drags him down for no gain on the play. Davis, a rookie out of Tennessee, Chattanooga. Bill Belichick soaking it in with that great emotion.
Bubbling on the inside.
You know, this tomorrow and Saturday, I'll get to the point after this 2nd and 10 play as Will Tye goes in motion. Etling throws the slant, and the ball knocked out of the hands of Paul Turner, who's had a rough night. And the pass ruled incomplete.
Was that Deion again?
3rd down.
Yeah, Dante Deion.
Yep. And that is an incomplete pass, but Deion made sure that Turner never had a chance to wrap it up.
Deion's making it hard for him.
You know, but for these coaches, Bill Belichick and the Giants are going to challenge the play, and I think they're going to lose the challenge. I don't think Turner ever really had control of that football. But for Pat Shurmur, Bill Belichick, who's been doing it a long time, and all these coaches, Saturday is the worst day of the year for them as coaches.
Yeah.
Because off-season program begins, players start working.
The Giants are challenging the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass. We'll review the play.
Carl, we're going to take a look at it. Doesn't look like Turner ever really has control here. Bobbles it, ball's moving.
You barely got a step.
Good awareness by Dante Dion to knock it out. Giants did recover, but I think it's going to be ruled an incomplete pass as it was on the field. But all these coaches, we talked to Coach Shermer about it. Belichick has been through it a million times, all of them. And it's a tough day for them because these guys have given everything they've had to try to make the football team. And you got it. It's a numbers game. There's 37 guys for each team. They're going to be told, hand in your playbook.
And I don't think it ever gets easier for a coach. I think, you know, the guys that you take a liking to and you feel really good about them and they've done everything right, everything that you've asked them to do, and you got to make a tough decision and it's not in the favor of the player, you feel bad about it, you know, but you hope that they go on and you always give them a great reference. And in Bill Belichick's case, and as with a lot of other teams.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The receiver never possessed the ball, completed the process of the catch. It is an incomplete pass. The Giants will be charged with their first time out.
With a lot of other teams, you know, guys go away, they become free agents again. You might have a chance to get them back in the future, so you never know. But you know, it's always tough, especially when you get down to the last few guys that you really want to try to keep.
3rd and 10 for New England. They're going to run the draw. Excellent running there by Ralph Webb. He jumped right over Calvin Munson. And it's a gain of 12 and a first down for New England.
See what you're hitting, Calvin. Hold your head up. Can't be looking at the turf and seeing the player at the same time. Fundamentals of tackling.
And not something you'd expect from a guy that started last year. Etling under pressure. Etling is going to get sacked. Robert Thomas got the first hit on him. And A.J. Francis got in there to help out. Loss of 5.
Here's where your pressure's coming from the inside. Just good push straight ahead. Just collapsing the pocket there. Thomas did. Looked like snacks on that one.
Carl, interior pressure is something that sometimes gets overlooked, but it's hugely important.
Especially when you have a quarterback that doesn't scramble well. You push those guys in his lap. It throws his rhythm off.
Ralph Webb on the carry. Davis and Munson on the tackle. Gain of 3. Giants fans, your opportunity to be a part of the tradition. Become a season ticket holder. Experience the excitement of Giants football. To become a Giants season ticket holder, call 201-935-5610 or go to Giants.com for more information. 3rd and 12 for New England. Under 2 minutes to go here in the 3rd. Patriots up 4. Etling under pressure. Runs out of a sack. And another one. And he's got the first down. Looked like Avery Moss was one of the Giants that missed the tackle. Gain of 13.
Yeah, lots of pressure in there. He steps up the pocket. He never gave his receivers a chance down the field. As soon as he stepped up, he tucks the ball away. He's not even looking down the field. He's got a guy running open.
And Moss kind of just slipped right off the quarterback. So New England's converted a couple of 3rd and longs here. And have a 1st and 10 at their own 36. A check down underneath to Webb, and he dives ahead for 10. When we talk about the Patriots, it feels like, well, 6 straight years in the AFC Championship game. And look at what they've done in the AFC East. A record of 214 and 74.
Incredible. Now think of all the new head coaches that these 3 teams have had.
How about the
during that
quarterbacks
period?
too?
Yeah.
I mean, they've been able to take advantage of tremendous dysfunction within the division. But it's not like they haven't won their
Well, they've been good
fair
enough.
share of all the other games that they've had to win.
They've gotten out of the division and
Pittsburgh can't beat them.
That's right. They didn't beat. They don't beat division opponents in the Super Bowl. They've got to get there outside of the division.
Maureen Stewart in at safety for the Giants.
Pittsburgh's a pretty good football team too.
They got their number. Brady, whether Dick LeBeau is the defensive coordinator in Pittsburgh, whoever's there, Brady just finds a way to pick them apart. Muhammad on the handoff takes it to the Giant 36, and that'll be the final play of the third quarter in this final preseason game with some roster spots on the line. Patriots in front 10-6 here on NBC4 New York. Giants preseason football on NBC4 New York is brought to you by Bob's Discount Furniture, home of the world famous Bob-O-Pedic mattress. Proud to be the official furniture store of the New York Giants. Shop in store or online at mybobs.com. Take a look at tonight's stats through the third quarter, brought to you by Bob's Discount Furniture. Patriots with the edge in yardage. Each team has committed 2 turnovers, 2 interceptions by Kyle Lauletta, 2 by Danny Etling. Penalties have really hurt the Giants in this game. 2nd and 8. Muhammad, who was just signed this week, takes it to the Giant 31-yard line. It's a gain of 5 on the play.
Takes it to somebody's chest too.
James Betcher, the new Giants defensive coordinator. Carly's got some things to work out. I mean, you're going from a 4-3 to a 3-4. Dave Gettleman and the personnel department can't change over an entire roster in one off season. So there's going to be some mixing and matching here.
Well, it is, and he's got to find the right edge guys. And I'm going to predict they won't find their footing for another, couple games into the regular season. But once they start clicking on all cylinders, you'll start to see exactly what he can do, because he has the players to do it. The athleticism, they've got to figure out that third corner. They've got to figure out the safety position.
Holding.
And then they got to all figure out how to play together. And once they do, you'll start to see just how good and creative this defense can be.
The Muhammad first down run negated. Will Tye call for a hold. Howard, your thoughts on Betcher's defense and the personnel that he has to work with?
I think he has a pretty good defense here, good personnel, but guys, Patrick Peterson covers up for a lot of mistakes. Him and the Honey Badger, those 2 guys back in the secondary, that helps the front out a lot.
And Patrick Buchanan, they don't have those names on the roster, so he's hoping to get the same level of performance from the talented Janoris Jenkins.
Etling's 3rd and 14 pass goes incomplete. Now there's a flag on the play, and it's a personal foul against the Patriots, which I'm sure the Giants will just decline and force New England to punt the ball away.
Personal foul, number 74, offense for a leg whip. 15-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
Cole Croston call for the penalty. So the Giants are going to accept the penalty.
Yeah, he kicked him in the face. They don't teach that. I guarantee that's what Belichick's telling them. We don't teach that here.
Would you have declined it?
Yeah.
The only reason why I say that is because, the defensive holding on a secondary member, 5 yards, automatic first down. Instead, it's 3rd and 29. Etling with some time. Etling chased. Checks it down to Webb. Webb walloped at the Giant 41-yard line by Leonard Johnson and Calvin Munson. Gain of 16 on the play.
That's a good job by the defense. The back end of the defense not letting anyone get behind them, and they just limited them to a check down.
Calvin Munson, 2nd-year player out of San Diego State, signed as an undrafted free agent last year, wound up starting 5 games.
Made a lot of plays too, always around the football.
Ryan Allen takes a low wobbly snap, sidewinding boot to the far sideline, bounds at the 4, and out inside the 1. Rock, paper, scissors. Let's start the regular season. MSG Network is your TV home for the New York Football Giants all season long. Don't forget, check out Giants First and 10 presented by Stop and Shop on September the 9th as we'll get you set for the Giants and Jaguars on the 7th. And Giants Chronicles takes a look at the Giants all-time first-round draft picks. And then Giants Postgame Live presented by Mercedes-Benz right after the Giants and Jaguars on the 9th of September. Giants pinned inside their own one after the great punt by Allen. Presley gets a little breathing room, picks up 2 on the play.
Good opportunity for the coaches to try some play calling that they always wanted to when they're pinned down like this.
See number 66, Malcolm Bunch, in at left tackle. There's Mike Shula, who comes over from Carolina. And Carl, you know, you talk about personalities and fits. He seems like a perfect fit for Pat Schumer, perfect fit to work with a guy like Eli Manning.
He is, and you know, he just has a way with quarterbacks. You've never heard a quarterback say a bad thing about him.
Ball start. I think Malcolm Bunch, the left tackle, moved a beat too quickly.
Ball start. Number 66, offense. Half the distance to the goal. Second down.
Let's go down to the sideline and check in with Bruce Beck.
Hey, this is Ray Armstrong, who's been very impressive. He kind of, what did you say you do?
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
That means that you hit like a Mack truck, but you also can cover your role with this group with James Betcher's 3-4. What do you think?
Oh, man, I'm just out there just trying to display every ability I have. You know, thank God that he's blessed me with those talents. I'm just going out there trying to perfect my craft and take coaching.
I know you're a linebacker, but because you played safety before, does that help you with coverage?
Oh, it helps me out a lot. You know, just coming from covering wide receivers and guys in the slot, stuff like that, quick, fast guys. It kind of helps me out a lot on bigger tight ends and running backs.
You forced turnovers the last couple of games. Do you try to create mayhem out there?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, that's what the game's all about. It's all about getting the ball back, scoring points, you know, just taking away from the offense and giving our offense more opportunities to put points up.
You faced this Giants offense all throughout training camp. How good can that unit be?
Oh, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. You got a good leader like Eli Manning leading the team, leading the charge, and you got Odell and those guys. Saquon just coming on. You know, everybody, we have playmakers on each level, running back, wide receiver, and O-line, you know what I'm saying? So it's going to be up to Eli to lead that charge.
You've played with the Rams, the Raiders, the 49ers. Do you feel like you found a home now with the Giants, Ray?
Oh, yeah, no problem, no doubt. I mean, they welcomed me with open arms as I came here last year. You know, just with a new staff, everybody's started with a clean slate, you know, just coming in and giving everyone the opportunity to make plays and do what's great for them.
Earlier today, Coach Pat Shermer said you made the biggest jump from the spring to right now, so congratulations. Keep up the good work.
Appreciate it. I look forward to it.
Back to Bob and Carl.
Ray Armstrong started 5 of 10 games for the Niners last year before the Giants claimed him on waivers. And he's making his mark here this year. Carl, on that third down play, tip your cap to Alonzo Russell, who made a nice catch and run to get the Giants a first down. Now Presley with a nice run on first down.
Yeah, did a good job there. Good play call, too. They kind of ran everybody off to create enough cushion to get something in the flat. Put guys at the sticks. He makes one guy miss, 2 guys miss. First down.
Cyrus Jones, bad angle, allowed Alonzo Russell to turn upfield. 2nd and 3 for the Giants from their own 19, down 4. Tanny intended for Ryan O'Malley.
O'Malley's got to catch that one.
3rd-year player out of Penn from Summit High School in nearby Summit, New Jersey.
He's got all of Summit looking at him. It's Eli's. Could be Eli's favorite. Look at that. Ah, got his hand pulled. One of his hands pulled. Got to make that one-handed catch. Bring it in. There's Eli saying, come on, kid.
Could have thrown a flag on that, too.
Yeah.
Grigsby was there a little early.
The officials want to get home right about now. It's the 4th preseason game.
3rd and 3. Tanny with time. Tanny to the outside, and pass completed to Marquise Bundy. He's got a Giants first down. Well, listen, the good news here for the officials, Carl, is it's a 4-point game, which means probabilities of overtime don't look
right.
Good. Nice route there by Bundy.
Nice throw.
Practice squad player with the Giants last year. Entered the league as a free agent with Arizona in 2016. Jalen Simmons in at tailback on a 1st and 10 for the Giants from their own 38. Tanny takes the check down. And Garrett Dickerson was walloped.
It sure was.
Well, NASCAR pays tribute to 7 decades of racing and the legends that made them special. Don't miss the Southern 500 at Darlington, Sunday at 6 on NBC SN. Well, this wasn't a race. This was like a Mack truck hitting Garrett Dickerson.
A sandwich.
But you notice the heads were up, Carl?
See your target.
Now, Bill Belichick has thrown the challenge flag. He's saying it was a catch and a fumble.
Let's see.
Nicholas Grigsby and Marquise Flowers were the guys that hit Dickerson.
Catch, turns, almost makes a football move.
Was that ball moving, though, as he tried to tuck it away?
We don't want to go down that road.
Now, Riveron, what do you think? We'll find out after this.
Giants preseason football on NBC4 New York is driven by the Hess Toy Truck, celebrating 85 years of Hess with more trucks this year than ever before. Get alerts at HessToyTruck.com.
Bill Belichick challenged the play to Garrett Dickerson, and the call stands incomplete as Grigsby and Flowers crunched Dickerson, but he didn't have control. 2nd and 10. Presley with a 1st down into Patriot territory and finally shouldered out of bounds after a gain of 19. Well, nice job by the blocking of the left side, the left tackle, left guard, Seal, Malcolm Bunch, nice job.
Yeah, good kick out on the edge and good running by Presley. Nice jump cut. Outruns his guy to the edge.
Well, Presley has certainly made his mark in his couple of games here with the Giants. Simmons in at the tailback, 1st and 10 Giants, down by 4 here in the 4th. Tanny to Shane Smith. Interesting position grouping. Fullback. Coach Shermer says he'd like to keep a fullback, but you better be able to catch the ball, line up as a tailback.
Line up outside of the backfield.
Shane Smith is the only candidate, or else he says, you know, we'll keep another tight end if we have to.
Well, you got backlog at the running back position, and every guy seems to be hungry for it.
On a 1st and 10, pass goes incomplete for Jalen Simmons. I'm going to check in with Howard Cross for more on that fullback tight end conundrum.
You know, it is a conundrum, but you know, I got into the league, they started using the H-back. Fullbacks were still used, but tight ends could do more. When we started running at 6'5" out of the backfield to lead on the draw, I knew fullbacks didn't have a lot of time left in the league, so to speak.
The question is, though, are the other guys behind Ingram and Ellison that guy?
Yeah, but Bob, if they can't line out in the slot, if the fullback can't get out there in the slot and run a route, that's where he'll fall down.
3rd and 5 for Tanny and the Giants. Pass completed for the 1st down to Jewel Davis, who had a drop earlier, gain of 6. Carl, your take on it as a guy that had to deal with tight ends your whole career?
Well, depends on what type of offense you have. This is a more, I would say, more pass-oriented league. So you know, fullbacks have got to be able to do a lot of things, and not sure the role of a fullback in this offense is something that would be unique around the league. Got to be able to go out, see what you see the tight end doing there. That's what a fullback does, and he's got to go in there and whack a guy out of there.
Presley breaking a bunch of tackles, stiff arms a man, and turns something out of nothing.
Terrell's got some, he's got some people, some family in the stands. Heard that I think it's his aunt, Melba Wilson from the famous restaurant in Harlem. Melba's is here with the rest of the family, checking him out, rooting him on. He's got a good cooked meal coming. If he makes this squad, he should take everybody to Melba's.
Hey, 3 people miss at the point of attack. 2nd and 7 at the New England 29. Drive started at the Giants 1. Tanny to the middle, completes it to Davis. Good catch by Davis as he had a defender draped all over him. Gain of 11.
A good route by Davis. Now he knows where the sticks are. Gets to the sticks, turns. Good protection here too. Look at that. Nice clean pocket.
Remember last year in Foxborough, this last game was a high-scoring thriller at the end. Giants need a touchdown. Simmons bounces his way to the 15, gain of 3. Giants trying to cap off a 99-yard drive and take the lead.
Wearing them down. It's hot. 5-minute offense is going right now inside the red zone. Defenders with hands on hips. A little gassed out there. Let's see if the Giants can finish the deal here. Close them out.
15th play of the drive coming up. 2nd and 7 at the New England 15. Tanny under pressure. Tanny spun down at the 14. It'll go for a gain of 1. Gino Grissom got him to the ground. Next Thursday, football is finally back a week from tonight. It'll be a party in Philadelphia. Cheesesteaks for all when the Eagles raise their first Super Bowl banner before taking on Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons. The new NFL season kicks off Thursday at 7:30, only on NBC. It'll be a lot of fun in Philadelphia as they raise that banner. And let's face it, Atlanta came within 5 yards of beating Philadelphia in the playoffs last year in a 4th down pass through the hands of Julio Jones. They would have had Atlanta moving on. 3rd and 6 for the 14. Tanny dropped by Alonzo Russell.
Guess they're going to go for it here. Field goal can't do you any good. See what the play call is. Boy, that's unfortunate. That would have gone for a 1st down and then some. There's Coach Shermer. In-game situations, no matter the personnel.
Russell, a practice squad player with Cincinnati and Arizona last year, with a big drop there.
Here's a play that he's probably, if he's in this situation with his regulars, this is kind of a peek inside of how he wants to.
4th and 6. Tanny to the end zone, intended for Dickerson, incomplete. Now the Giants went for it. They sent the tight end out of the slot. Tanny looking for that corner route, a little too far. Patriots in front in the 4th.
Giants fans, show your true colors with Taco Bell's Big Blue Spirit flag. It's a great way to display support of your favorite team. Proceeds benefit the Boys and Girls Club. Make sure to get it at Taco Bell today.
And some fans waving the flag. Anything to support the Boys and Girls Club is always a good thing, and the Giants and Taco Bell have teamed up to do just that. Giants turn it over on downs, going for it on a 4th and 6, down 4, so New England takes over. And how about Etling on the naked boot? The rookie out of LSU to the Giant 20, 10-5 touchdown, 86 yards.
Well, that play right there just cut about 7 people. At least 7 people got cut on that play. There's Betcher there saying, how could something like that happen? He said, you're cut, you're cut, you're cut. Pack your bags. Don't come in tomorrow. He's got about 7, 8 guys right there. Whoever the edge guy was got suckered in pretty good. And he takes it to defense.
Yeah, really. Where's the pursuit?
Distance.
All right, let's take a look at it.
Everybody goes down, including the safety who got the second-level safety who came in there too, getting nosy.
Gostkowski for the extra point. We're going to have to look at that one from the all-22, Carl, and let's take a look at who fell asleep at the wheel.
You're going to have a guy here, a guy here, a guy here, a guy here. They all just get sucked down in there. There you go.
Jordan Williams, Orion Stewart, and how about the corner, Leonard Johnson, completely faked out.
Yeah, he's the last line. He's the last line of defense on the outside. He goes all the way down in there too. It's like they were serving my birthday cake in there. Look at him, free cake.
Look at Leonard Johnson, 29. He has no idea where the ball is. Well, something you won't see Tom Brady do this season is have an 86-yard touchdown run, but he lived vicariously through the rookie, Danny Etling.
High five on that one.
How about that call? Look at Gronk. And on the other side, James Betcher is not happy
at all. I mean, because there is an expectation, no matter who you put out there, they've got to execute the defense. And there's a gap responsibilities that every player is taught at every position. Nobody did what they were supposed to do on that one.
Kickoff travels to the back of the end zone for a touchback. So, Carl, one of the things that if the Giants go into 3-4, they're asking the linebackers to do more. And we saw in the first couple preseason games, Alec Ogletree being asked to do some things differently.
Yeah.
And this is something that, as Pat Shurmur said, hey, as an offensive play caller, we're looking for this matchup.
Yeah, so it's all about matchups, and they try to isolate the linebackers. Here, he gets a late start. Now he's chasing the play. That's one play. It's 3 plays that they love to run on linebackers. Once they find them isolated, that's one. Then they run a little arrow route or an angle route, and then they run the whip route. I talked to Alex before last game and just told him how he should handle that, because it's not going to go away, and it will impact how you call your defense. Because if you are scared, if you're afraid that you don't have the linebackers to go out and play man coverage, then you're going to be stuck in zone. You won't be able to blitz as much. You won't be able to disguise.
Presley dragged down by Grigsby, no gain on the play. Carl, as Coach Shurmur said, look, there's certain things by formation or whatever where we can identify what they're probably going to do, probabilities, and make some checks and things to sort of deal with it.
Yeah, but you know what? The offenses get creative. When they see a 34 defense and they know you blitz a lot, there's matchups. So unless you want to blitz all your linebackers, and then it dictates your personnel on the field. So you've got to be able to have some cover skills, and I believe Alec Ogletree can. He just has to understand the routes. There's only 3 of them that they're going to try to run on him, and he's got to know how he wants to position his body.
Davis Rudolph had a nice catch. Get the Giants first down. That pass for Davis incomplete. Every Sunday night right here on NBC4 New York, it's Sports Final with Bruce Beck. Bruce always has the latest on New York sports with special guests and analysis. Wrap up your weekend with Sports Final immediately following News 4 New York. Carl, we saw the Giants on that 4th and 6 situation try to get the tight end matched up with the linebacker Flowers, and he did a good job in coverage.
Yeah, same thing. He never gave up leverage. He knew exactly where he had to defend. He was outside in and never gave up that outside in angle, so the ball was never, it was thrown at the pylon and he was there to defend it.
Simmons with a gain of about 5 on the play. It'll set up 3rd and 5 for the Giants. 2.5 remaining. Giants down by 11. Canning plenty of time. And that pass intercepted. He threw it right to Ryan Lewis, who stepped in front of the receiver, and he's in for the score. There's a flag on the play right where the interception happened.
I think he grabbed him on the comeback or on his cut. Maybe why he couldn't get open. There it is.
There you go. That's
called a mugging.
Number 27, defense, automatic. First down.
Yeah, there's no way you can look at that and say, oh, that was a bad call. I mean, he hugged him right off the line.
Yep, that's a mugging. What are you asking for? A replay? He's tapping his head. He wants out?
Coach, I didn't do it. I swear, I didn't do it. It's a bad call.
Fingerprints are all over him, kid.
So the Giants get a first down off the penalty at the New England 47, down 11. They have 2 timeouts remaining. Tanny, nobody open. Tanny's going to run it. Tanny to the 39-yard line, picks up 8 on the run. And that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. But decisions must be made on Saturday. 2 minutes to go. Patriots with a 17-6 lead over the Giants. Drive the game brought to you by Toyota, the national clearance event going on now. Toyota, let's go places. Leaf Raymond got things going on the Giants' only touchdown drive, a little end around. Loletta hitting Simonson on a 3rd down conversion, and then 41-yard touchdown catch and run by Amba Etatau. And at that point, the Giants went up 6-3. That's our Toyota drive of the game. Toyota, let's go places. Most of the starters, all the starters for both teams not playing tonight. Giants have a 2nd and 2 at the New England 39. Travis Rudolph was the motion man. And a neutral zone infraction against New England. So that'll have Bill Belichick thinking about cutting somebody.
Number 55 defense.
He just gave them a free first down at the 2-minute warning, and they didn't have to run a play. Well, the Giants open up their season right here at MetLife Stadium. Jacksonville Jaguars, who lost to New England in the AFC Championship game, bring that talented defense to town. Then here on NBC4 New York, Sunday Night Football, the Giants at Dallas in week number 2. 1st and 10 Giants at the 34. Tanny. Flag on the play. Chased out of bounds by Flowers. I think it's going to be a hold against the Giants.
Holding. Number 27. Defense. 5 yards will be added to the end of the play.
Actually on Ryan
First
Lewis,
down.
who's not had a good series. They're talking about the Dallas Cowboys, and the big storyline, Carl, is Travis Frederick sidelined with this illness, and that is a big deal because he is a all-pro. And now Dak Prescott doesn't have that security blanket of making the calls. What about the receivers? No Dez. Jason Witten is retired. Can they generate enough offensively?
Well, we're going to find out when you have Ezekiel Elliott.
Tanny sacked, fumbled it, and the Giants' Malcolm Bunch recovered it.
Ezekiel Elliott is just such a unique player. You spot the ball, it's on an average run, it's probably a gain of 7 or 8. So I'm sure they're going to try to stay in that short down and distance for this quarterback, try to make sure that Ezekiel Elliott does as much to help him out as possible. We'll see.
Tanny goes up top behind Jawil Davis. Cyrus Jones on the coverage.
Then if you get Dallas in some 3rd and long situations, do they have the receivers that can come through, or is it a dump down and see if Zeke can get it for you?
And the Giants are hoping that they can use their run game with Saquon Barkley kind of balancing things out, and the multiple formations that Pat Shurmur wants to use with a healthy Odell Beckham Jr., Sterling Shepard, Evan Ingram.
Yeah, and the thing is, Saquon Barkley is an excellent receiver as well, so he factors in all 3 downs.
3rd and 18. Simmons. Flag on the play as he gets knocked down at the New England 28-yard line with 1:14 to go.
Looks like some of these guys are trying to prolong their stay in the NFL.
Personal foul, face mask, number 95, defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Derek Rivers, who missed all of last year on injured reserve, call for the penalty. Well, Carl, Saquon Barkley obviously has given the Giant fans a lot to be excited about. His very first carry in the first preseason game, showing why he was #2 overall.
Yeah, now they're going to be expecting big production from him. He was, in most people's opinion, the best player in the draft. So they're counting on him to really be productive.
1st and 10 at the New England 14. Tanny underneath completes it to Davis, who gets tackled by Jones immediately. Down to a minute to go. Giants with 2 timeouts remaining, down 11. 2nd and 4 from the New England 8. Tanny goes up top. And the pass is caught for the touchdown by Alonzo Russell.
Good throw by Tanny. Better catch by Russell.
Russell 6'4", used his size against the 5'10" Jamal Wilkes.
Runs to the pylon. Ball thrown. He catches it. Gets the defensive back head stuck down under his chin. Defensive back never saw it. Look at that. Like, this guy's too big for me.
The Giants are going to go for 2. Well, then they could onside kick it, recover it, kick a field goal. We could have overtime.
I think they're going to cut the lights off before they go to overtime.
Russell in motion. 2-point conversion coming up. Presley stood up and stopped by the interior of that New England defense. Trent Harris got a hit in there on Presley. Tried to draw, didn't work, and with 48 seconds to go, New England's lead is 5. Good work by Eric Lee, a free agent out of South Florida. He was on Buffalo's practice squad, wound up appearing in 6 games for the Patriots last year, and even started one of their 3 postseason games. Presley's been an impressive player. Signed late, Carl, and jumped in last week against the Jets. Had a good game. Showed a lot here tonight. Not much he could do on that play.
No.
New England was waiting for him.
No, he wanted to score, though, but, you know, it really comes down when you start looking at these kids at the running back position. How are they on special teams? You got certain types of special teams player, as the coach told us, and does he fit in that small, agile group of guys?
Kane's going to just hit a liner. Bounds at the 10. Goes into the end zone for a touchback. With 48 seconds to go. Patriots will trot their offense back out on the field, up by 5. Bill Belichick. New England wrapping up their preseason. It's the 14th consecutive year that the Giants and Patriots have played in this final preseason game. Danny Etling with an 86-yard touchdown run.
I'm telling you what, he got at least 5 guys cut on that play.
And Pat Shermer, the Giants will finish the preseason at 2-2. But a lot of positive things. The first-year head coach for the New York Giants. And Carly runs a tight ship. I mean, when he does the interviews, he's very casual with the media. And as Dave Gettleman said, pragmatic. Gives some honest answers. But he has got some hard lines that his team knows where he stands on.
Absolutely. There's not a lot of ambiguity with him.
Bill Belichick and Pat Shermer exchange a warm and friendly handshake. These two teams will not play this year in the regular season, as the Giants will be playing the AFC South. Odell Beckham Jr. and Tom Brady catching up a little bit. Tom saying, wow, you make a lot more than me now.
He probably said, I'm so glad you're making all this money, so I won't be holding player salaries down.
Nope, exactly. Look at Belichick and Odell. A nice big hug there. Dante Hightower has come up huge. Dion Lewis, Nate Solder with his former teammates after starting his career with New England. And Did a lot of winning in New England. He'd like to do some winning now in New York with the Giants. And you can see the kind of guy that he is as far as how well liked he is. And he certainly has ingratiated himself with the Giants in great fashion. So the New England Patriots victorious by a 17-12 score here at MetLife Stadium. And